Want to welcome everybody for today's webinar. It is 6:03. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and I do want to get started quickly. I do have my co-host on today, which is Julian. He'll be monitoring chats, and if you have any questions, go to the chat. This is kind of a almost like a part two of the branding. Last week we focused on in-app branding, how to customize screens, how to kind of make it your own. I think that adds a lot of value for a lot of users who want to just go that extra step to show your skills in the photo booth world. I think it levels up everything really nice, and it demands a higher rental fee for that because people notice. So again, my name is DJ. I'm based out of California. I've been with the TouchPix team for 6 years now, since 2020. So, I'm here. I'm at the expos. I'm on support at times, helping everybody out, and just want to provide some useful information. I'm going to let my co-host introduce himself. Julian, take the
Hey
mic.
everyone, hey everyone, this is Julian. I'm from Mexico. I'm based in Mexico, and I have been with the Touchpix since 2022, 4 years now, and I'm part of the support in the chats, in the group, also creating tutorials and the webinars. So I'm glad to be here with you. I'm gonna be here on the chat. So if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat and I can answer. And if it's a you know related to the main topic and that what DJ is showing on the screen, you can maybe raise your hand and we can let you drop the question, or if not, you can drop it in the chat, please.
Yeah, thanks, Julian. So a couple things, and I think because you guys are taking the time to be part of our webinars, these are master classes, a little bit more advanced than the usual onboarding. We definitely want to drop the latest news with you guys, and I think we were talking earlier before we started this chat. There's a couple things that I do want to share with you guys in case you guys are interested. Uh, Give me a sec here. Let me move my taskbar up top. I think is in the way. We announced that we are releasing a product called PlotterPix. It's going to be independently. It is going to work with TouchPix, but it's a different type of service. We'll have a little bit more information as time goes on. Today's masterclass is going to focus on branding, but we just want to let you guys know that we are providing, we're constantly innovating, we're constantly improving how you can use photo booth activations. And, for those of you that are not aware, I mean, we do now iOS, iPhones, iPads, we do Android devices, we do Mac OS. A lot of people use the Mac OS on the mirror side, but there's a lot of Mac OS photo booth people as well who use DSLR and touchscreen cameras. We've ran them on Raspberry Pis. So we are trying to make TouchPix the all-in-one solution. We offer not only pictures, 360, slow motion. We also offer photo booth mosaic. We offer, the ability to do trading cards, keychains, you name it, we can do it in our software. This is just another way where we're leveling up everybody's skills, and just be on the lookout for this plotter picks, right? The idea with this plotter picks is these little plotter machines have markers on them. You'll be using the photo booth software. It'll take your picture. You can use AI backgrounds as well. It's linear art, so it's kind of like the caricature type um, pictures that you'll get at some theme parks. It's just the outside layer without the fill-in. But what it does, it ultimately will sketch whatever the picture looks like. And I think these are great activations. A lot of people run these in fours, five, six different at a time. And I was just informed today that the machines with one of our boxes can run multiple machines. So that, I mean, I think that's great. More news to come. Another thing that I want to welcome a lot of these, you guys, since you guys are masterclass attendees, is we are now working with Windows, legitimate Windows, like a window install. We have the beta version of Windows out. We recommend if you want to test it, reach out to us. We can let you guys test it. and see how you like it. It needs a little bit of fine tuning, but it's almost ready for release. We're currently in beta with that. It works really, really well. I think the little tweaks that are needed are like on the animation side, the DSLR cameras connect fast. They connect really, really well. So if you want to stick with your mirror booths or want to open up some other activations with Windows, it all works the same with the QR system. You log in, you activate your event, either with login or QR. With Windows, I think it's more of a login. It'll be easier, but it works extremely well. So I just want to shift my focus back to today's webinar. But if you have any questions, I'm going to drop my email, and I'm sure Julian can drop his email on the chat. We can always follow up. And if there's time after today's webinar, we can circle back and touch on any of these products. But it's exciting for sure because the value keeps going up in the sense of there's more to do with our software. You don't have to go and look for separate software anywhere else. We can try to do the all-in-one type of thing. So again, thank everybody for attending. Today's webinar is going to masterclass webinar is going to be about branding, section two. Section two of branding we covered last week. We covered branding on the iPad, iOS devices that can be applied also with Android. Some of the screens, some of the transition screens. I think a lot of you were given some industry tips of what Julian and I use. Typically, we use screens and then we manipulate it in CapCut. Today's webinar is going to focus more on the TV side because there's a lot of opportunity for TV style branding. And it's very, very similar to last week's masterclass with a little bit of differences here, but now you have a little bit more functions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into an event that I have already created.
Last week's
Uh,
on YouTube.
I believe it is. That was posted during the week, I believe. Correct, Julian?
Yeah, DJ,
And
like that.
and if you look here under webinars, I think we post them on here now as well on our webpage.
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to go into the events. This is going to be geared for 360, but I'll be talking about photo booth as well because it's very similar. I think a lot of people utilize external screens for 360s a little bit more, so that's why my primary focus today would be on that. So um, I just duplicated an event that I had already created in the past. I did a type of corporate event for a local credit union that we have, and for this specific section, we're going to focus. I'm just going to do a quick overview, I guess, of the branding section. So last week we covered, and I'm going to do a quick overview on that. Last week we covered branding on the home screen. How to, for example, that would be the logo section on the home screen. My background screen would look similar to this, a blank type of template. It is a movie file, so I can play it a little bit later so you guys can see that. I use a lot of blank screens because that's what's going to take up the real estate on your iPad, your TV. In this case, this theme was an under the sea theme, so it kind of goes in theme with what's going on there specifically. This will be my start screen. It is an animation. It doesn't play it off here. I'd have to download it, and I'll show it to you guys. I'll download it briefly just so you see what I'm talking about. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Go into my download folder. Wait a minute. It did not go in my download folder. Give me a sec here. Oh, there it is. Let's go with the not the background screen. I guess we'll go down to the track screen. So I was trying to download the attract screen now where you guys can see what that looks like. A lot of my screens are blank screens, again, because I want the background to reflect. And the attract screen looks something like this. You see, there it is. You guys able to see that? Quick little playback, quick little animation, touch to
Yes.
start. Yeah. So that's kind of the attract screen. All of these animations are created in CapCut. I recommend you guys review the branding from last week. It kind of shows how we use CapCut to manipulate the text. Ultimately, we load it in TouchPix and it becomes an interactive start screen. Um, most of these, I do the same thing with printing. I'll show you that real quick before we go into the other section. But printing would look something like this. In some cases, I provide audio. I provide the audio. Quick little 3 second screen. You don't need anything beyond that, right? Because you're trying to get your flow going, your line reduced as quickly as possible. So that's kind of the flow that I use. And again, you can see up top that I created and uploaded those logos and in the specified parts. You're able even to create your own buttons. I used the credit union's logo as the buttons for that specific event. And at the bottom, I use my in-between screen for the next picture. My thank you screen, I use it as a printing screen, and the attract screen, it's when the photo booth sits at idle and there's nobody using it. 10 seconds go by, the attract screen pops up for attention. So that's the app branding. Today, we're going to be focused on the TV section, right? So if we scroll down to the TV section, let's see here. What am I missing here? Yeah, TV functions. Here we go. So I'm just going to show you what my flow looks like. If you guys have a different flow, please raise your hand or feel free to unmute yourself. Um, because there's two different ways of doing things. And I know each person's going to do something a little different to your specific workflow. Um, if I'm doing a 360, what I do when I'm using a 360, I don't necessarily like to show the session. I know people like to uh, see the actual recording in progress. Initially, when I first started using TouchPix many years back, I did I did use that. But what I didn't like is that everybody, when they're being recorded, is looking at themselves on uh, whatever screen I have up near the photo booth. So nobody was really looking at the camera, right? Because they were so busy looking at themselves. And I didn't really like those outputs. So I kind of I went away from showing the session to doing I like to leave it on show both, but you can definitely also use slideshow for this. So in my specific case, I toggle on vertical screen because I have a vertical TV that I mount. The template that I use is template one, or it's the 1072 by 1920 vertical template. If if you don't use that template and you use landscape template and your TV's mounted in landscape mode, then just simply it's the same steps, just simply untoggle the vertical TV section, right? Um, in this method here, I go down the list. I'm not using live view. A lot of people like to use a short replay. What does a short replay do? It replays the video, but it cuts it off. It just makes it a little shorter. It's exactly what it is. That way, you have more sessions happening a little quicker. The live view is off. I don't like to enable skip replay because I like people to see themselves, right? My slideshow, typically, I like to set it at default. I leave it at 30 seconds.
Why don't you
You might,
use live play?
what's that?
Why don't you use live play?
I just explained that. The live play, right? The live view, I don't like to use it, but if that's your workflow, that's great. I don't like to use live view in the sense that people like to look at themselves on the TV while they're being recorded. So your output shots are people not looking at the camera, right? They're looking at the TV. They're looking away from it. So I since then have moved on and toggle it off because I tell the guest, look at the camera. This is where your main focus should be. That way, your output looks real professional. Everybody's looking at the camera and engaged on that. The positive with that, even when live view is off, your short replay or the video replay will show right after in the correct format. So they'll get to see themselves uh, on your monitor. For me, I leave it off. But again, that's just my workflow. If you like your videos coming out with live view, then, proceed with that. I'm just kind of sharing some of the tips that we've used in the past. Julian, how do you use it? Do you use live view on? Do you use it off? Just to get a
No,
different perspective.
I don't like either the live view. I always use it as a slideshow. And when I'm doing photo booths, I only use like to show the photo clip or video clip from the bride and groom, or even the quinceañera, but never use the live view. I don't like the live view because it's I get that for me it's like a distraction for the people if they are watching them directly on the screen. So for me, it's not so good the live
Okay, perfect. Um, as I scroll down here, the slideshow setup, every piece of setting, it gives you a brief explanation of what it does. So in this case, it's a duration of the photo or video that's either played fully or not. Slideshow setup, I like to leave it at 30 seconds. Basically, how am I going to apply this in either if I'm doing a photo booth or a 360? For a 360, most of my videos, I have a I have a tendency of going with videos that do not exceed 30 seconds, but I like to keep them between 20 to 25 seconds as kind of my sweet spot. And that's what I mean about that is the output, the playback, the one that the guests receive. I like my duration to be between 20 to 25 seconds. Now, mind you, 4 or 5 of those seconds is probably going to be my outro video, right? Because I like to insert an outro video of either the theme or specific branding of the clients that hired me, right? So if it's say it's something to do with like Nike, I like to put the Nike logo at the end, kind of give the branding a little bit more brand awareness on that end. So if you have a different timeline, say you like your videos longer, then definitely you can you can customize um, the slideshow section so they can play the full video in its entirety, right? And again, this is just for the slideshow that's going to come out on the TV. If I were to leave it at 30 seconds and my video was, say, for example, 40 seconds, it's only going to play 30 seconds of the video, then it's going to cut off at some point. So always try to match your slideshow time with the length of your video. And as we scroll down, we're going to go into the photo carousel. The photo carousel section is the little, for people that like the little thumbnails at the bottom of the screen, where it's the thumbnail and typically a QR pops up so people can download the videos. I use this on occasion. It really depends on your workflow. If you like how that looks, activate the carousel, or you can leave it inactive. Um, you know, if you have great internet, that works really well. If you're using ScanPix, that works really well. But if you don't have great internet and you're not using the other sharing methods, I think it's great if you just leave them deactivated. As we come here to the TV experience customization, uh, there's a section where you can use the company logo. The company logo is typically let me see. The company logo is typically what you are uploading. In my experience, is what you are uploading under the app branding section under logo. That's where it extracts it from. So whatever, okay, give you an example. If I go back to app branding here, whatever file is up here is what's going to appear on your TV under the company logo side. So you could either deactivate it if you don't want it to show on the TV, or you can activate it. So whatever logo goes there will definitely um, be showing. The other thing is, uh, TouchPics when it first came out, it came with like some default animations, right? It came with like some pretty wild stuff that might be off theme. It came with like some unicorns or some like engaging animations telling you, this was a great session. Those were done by default. If you want to create your own custom animation, you can definitely make a change here. Um, but that would be a different masterclass because it is a zip file. It needs to be uploaded as a zip file. And the way that we do the animations are not standard like you do like a mirror booth animation. They're not MP4s. They need to be, they're basically PNGs in sequence. So if you're going to replace any animation, you're going to have to replace a lot of them for them to work correctly. But this is what we call post-session animations. It's just more rewarding animations to encourage, to give you a good compliment, basically. Same thing with the thank you screen. You can also change the thank you screen if you wanted to say thank you at the end. That's kind of where it goes. For the purposes of the TV section, a lot of people I see when they're posting up their videos on their Facebook group, everything looks great. But again, if you're going to keep everything in theme, I think it makes a big impact when you're on brand and the brand awareness is consistent. So some of the videos that I see on the Facebook groups, people posting everything looks great, and then all of a sudden, the background is kind of like that TouchPix purple or the TouchPix colors that are a little bit, too bold, considering that their whole design is something else. So, what do you do in that situation? In that situation, I uploaded, you know, I basically added my start screen and I added some PNG file branding it with the Bay Federal Credit Union. That way, whenever there's a transition, they see this on the background of the TV. So this is a good place where you can customize the TV background, right? It's not black, it's not purple, it's not those touch picks bold colors. You can brand it exactly how you want. Um, the custom animations is similar to the post-session animations for guests. If I were to tap on here, right now it's not working. The way these work is we have to load up a zip file. If you look at the when I hit selected files, it's not giving me an option for PNGs. It's not giving me an option for MOV files. This is a specific folder that needs to be uploaded for these custom animations to work. Outside of this will be a different masterclass because this is a more complex way of loading custom animation, but everybody needs to understand that you would have to make a PNG file, and those PNG files to be animated are it's called sequential PNGs. So one simple animation can take up to 20 to 30 PNG files. So this will be a separate masterclass on that for the TV functions. Lastly, what I wanted to share as well is how many people connect wireless to your TVs that are on this call, and how many people connect wired? I just kind of I've always had kind of this internal question because there is a lot of successes with wired and there's people having success with wireless, but I feel like my personal experience, I've done wired a lot just based on the Wi-Fi connections that are available to me. So I'm looking at the on the chat.
Yeah, I'm using Apple TV myself.
Okay. And has that worked out great for you? Have you guys done outdoor events with Apple TVs and how has that
Yeah,
worked?
yeah. So far, no problems. But our TV is probably 20, 30 feet from the booth.
Got it. Okay.
We
I
just
And
did
don't I
corporate.
don't
go ahead.
use Apple TVs.
So,
That's another trick that I do. So later I will show you what I use.
so with me, I was started out using the Apple and then I got away from it and I just kind of fell into this mirroring. So my TV, I mirror it to my sharing station, my iPad, and I've never had any problems. It stays connected. As
Got it.
long as
Okay. Well,
the station works, it works.
that's great. What I'm going to say is, if it's working for you, stick with what's working for you. But I also want to share, like, as a photo booth operator, always have a backup plan. I've been guilty of this, like I mentioned in other master classes as well. Sometimes technology is just not cooperating, right? Whether it be a bad Wi-Fi signal and all of a sudden you're stuck with a TV and you're not able to connect. The simplest way to connect, if wireless is not working, would be wired. And I sometimes use a separate iPhone, or sometimes I'll use a separate extra iPad. So the way I would do it, and I'm hoping that this would make sense to people, is I'll set up my recording device on my 360, right? So I have an iPhone controlling my GoPro on my 360, and then I have a separate iOS device that's solely for either sharing purposes or slideshow purposes, and I could use it for both, right? So what do I do in that situation? I used the slideshow iOS device. I use online sync, right? Pending that you have great internet, use it as a sharing station. When that device loads up, you're able to go to the TV functions on that specific device and activate it as a slideshow. So if you have an iOS device like that's a little older with the lightning ports, you need to get that lightning port to HDMI adapter, right? And the HDMI adapter plugs into your iOS device with an HDMI cable that goes to your TV. Once it connects to that source, your TV mirrors automatically. Once your TV can detect that there's an HDMI source plugged into that specific input, it mirrors automatically. You don't have to go through that mirroring process that you go with wireless, right? And the same thing applies to the iOS devices with USB-C. I actually would recommend a USB-C iPad or iPhone because the connection seems like it's a more solid connection. The HDMI picks up right away. So there's two different methods in that to be able to mirror your TV um, directly to your iPhone. Um, I'm gonna, Julie, I don't know if you have anything that you want to share with regarding your method while I load up this event and kind of try to do a screen mirror.
Yeah, for sure. The what I use actually, I started with the Apple TV method, wireless, but later I find a brand of TVs that is called Vizio, Vizio, Vizio. That this brand you can work with the AirPlay without internet, because I tried one that was a Roku TV, but that Roku TV required internet. The Vizio one doesn't require internet. You have to be on the same network. So, for instance, I when I'm doing the 360, I always use Scampix. So I connect that TV to the Scampix router, and I do all my setup as regular in Scampix. And having the TV connected to that router, I'm able to find it and mirror that to that TV without using any Apple TV. So that's a huge thing because I have it. I don't need to spend in an Apple TV. I don't have to connect an Apple TV, and it's pretty good. I never have any hiccups or something like that. Everything is working flawlessly with that option. So I'm gonna post here the brand. So maybe you can find one if you want, or if you are starting, and that's pretty good, because you don't require the Apple TV. It's AirPlay and that's it. But remember, don't use any Roku TV. You have to use a TV that is not Roku, because Roku requires internet. Okay, that's the
So
method
your
that I use.
so your TV has an Ethernet port.
No, no, no. It's wireless. So I just connect my TV to the
Oh, I hear.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Wi-Fi. In this case, I use the Scampix. But if you want to use maybe a hotspot, you need to connect your TV to the hotspot, and your device, the recording device has to be in the same router or in the same Wi-Fi, because that's the way that you can find the TV as available to mirror. So that's the way that it works for me. So that is the brand I just posted in the chat. That's the brand that I use, and for me, it's amazing. I don't have to. Actually, is I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's a TV of my room. So every time I have an event, I took out the TV from my room and I took it to the event. So that's the one that I use. I don't. It's like a double way to use it at home and in business.
Julian, is there a YouTube video that shows us how to use the ScanPix router? I've never used that, but that would be good to learn to be my backup in case my other way fails for whatever reason.
Okay, let me find a YouTube video. If not, I guess that maybe we can schedule another class for. We have several, webinars about Scampix, but also we have tutorial. I'm gonna look it and I'm gonna put it here on the chat. Okay.
Yeah, some of them might be a little old because of our interface has changed quite a bit, but there is definitely some videos on YouTube on our TouchPix page. Um, the principles are the same, even though our user interface has changed. The ScanPix router works well. I'm going to try to show an example of what.
Okay, DJ. In the meantime, where you're looking for, I don't know if you have seen my post that I have a wooden booth that is a sitting booth, and I use in that one I have two screens, one on each side. Okay,
Do you have it
so
handy where you can share it?
I don't have it. Let me get it because I was looking the video, but let me get it. Maybe I have it in my Facebook here, and I'm gonna show you, or in the group. Let me look in the group.
All right. Meanwhile, I'm going to scan into this other event and hopefully I can show them through screen mirroring.
Yeah, but in that case, what I use is an HDMI splitter. Okay, so you can transfer the same image to multiple screens. You will be projecting the same, but in that case, if you want to use it like that in multiple, you will require an HDMI splitter, but it has to be powered because if you don't have it with a power delivery, it will not work. Okay, so take that in mind if you are using multiple screens for your TV mirroring. Okay.
All right. I'm going to try to mirror my phone and see if that works here. Let me stop mirroring real quick and let me switch over to my phone. Let's see. Let's see if this works here. Are you guys able to see my iPhone on this? Well, where'd it go? I think you are because it's highlighted
Yeah, yeah, it is.
in
It is. I
green.
see the iPhone
Okay.
in use.
Okay, so let's okay, I guess I'm supposed to lock it. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it differently because I think is I'm part of the Zoom here, it's not going to allow me. So let me deactivate it. We'll do it through Zoom, see if that works. Okay. We're gonna quit the All right. Are you guys able to see my iPhone again or no? Switch screens here. Yeah. All right, cool. So this is what I got going on here. Let me go back to this. If you guys are able to see my iPhone, I'm going to go into TouchPics. And this I'm going to use as my TV slash sharing station. So I have an iPad on the side next to me. That's going to be the example of the recording device. And the one that you guys are seeing on screen is for TV purposes. So I'm going to go to online sync because that's how I connect. Ooh, let's see. Scan to device, sharing station, online sync. It's not letting me because of the camera that I'm currently sharing. How can I do this quicker? Well, let me grab a different device that I can probably show you on. Give me one sec here. I'm gonna stop the share. Yeah, so it's not working with the Zoom being on the same broadcast, I guess, but let me see what I can do here. Let me see. Maybe I'll just do the camera view here. So let's do this. Let me go back to the sharing of the iPhone, but I'm just going to use the camera to walk you through the steps. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to go to the TouchPics app, uh, zoom out a little. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to just go into the TV settings here under TV functions. Make sure everything is aligned the way I want it. I'm going to leave it at vertical, even though my monitor is horizontal. You guys will get the idea. Just to make sure everything is going well. If everything is going well, my settings are all correct. What you guys normally do is go to screen mirroring. And in this case, I'm going to mirror it to my actual screen here. It is in vertical mode currently. Let's see if I can change that actually so you guys can see the full effect. Let's go back to TV functions here, disable vertical mode. And now everything swapped, right? The important part that I wanted to show in today's master class is the way that you can brand your background. So that's important. A lot of people don't know how to customize the backgrounds. People don't know how to customize or where to load the logos. In my case, my logo is not showing here based on the fact that this screen is horizontal. But as you can see, it's playing back the full video in its entirety. Once it's done playing the video, it actually shows my outro there. It has my company logo and it has their logo at the end. So this video will continue to play back at random. As soon as somebody gets off the 360 spinner, they'll be able to see their video pop up. Their second device just needs to be on online sync. As I mentioned before, if you want to connect your sharing station device, we'll pretend this is your sharing station device. You will hook up an HDMI dongle here, and the HDMI will go from the dongle onto your TV, and it'll automatically mirror. As you can see here, for me, it's glitching a little. It could be because of my internet and because I'm broadcasting to you guys via Zoom, but it's a little glitchy. That's something that has caused me to move away from the wireless. But if you guys have good results with wireless, stick with your workflow. If I had a wired connection from this iPad directly to my monitor, the glitches disappear because it's a hardwired connection. So at the bare minimum for everybody on this masterclass, a good tip would be carry an HDMI dongle with your devices and be ready for a wired connection in the event that you have a wireless issue. I think that's going to prevent, just some frustration. It'll prevent you guys to execute your event without any major hiccups. Does that make sense for you guys? Like the way it connects and the branding section in the back and how you're able to display that. That way everything flows in theme. Any
Have a
questions
quick question.
regarding? Sure.
Yes. So if I have multiple session and sometimes on the TV it doesn't show the latest or the current person that get off the platform. Instead, the TV continues to show like the previous maybe 50 user that joined the platform. How is there a settings to adjust so in that way it shows the latest person?
Are you using wireless or wired method?
I'm using the Apple TV, so wireless.
Yeah. So for that specific case, I want to say that typically it's supposed to show the latest session. The lag might happen based on the communication between both your devices being on the wireless network. So it's playing catch up, but it should show the latest version once they get off the platform. Have you experienced
Okay.
that, Julian, at all? The lag?
Yeah, the lag happened to me with the Apple TV. Yeah, with the Apple TV it happened a lot. That's why I started to look for another solution that was the AirPlay. The AirPlay plays pretty good, you know.
Yeah, so
So
that
with
that
the,
typically is gonna rely on your wireless network. If it's slow, it may take a while for that video to automatically pop up. But the idea is that our software should pick it up right away. With the wired method, I know it plays it right away because it's the wired connection. But yeah, you might want to give that a try to see if that works out for you.
all right, no problem. Thank you.
I have a
Any other question? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I had the similar issue when we tried to use screen mirroring for the first time. It would only play like the first 5 videos, but we had about 30 videos, and it only just kept looping the first 5. And we used the Apple TV as well, but I'm wondering, what did that occur because we didn't mirror our sharing station versus the
Now
actual.
it occurs based on the Wi-Fi lag. So if you're using wireless, my recommendation, if you want to be able to show those videos immediately, is to connect it to some type of internet as well. Um, the communication is a lot faster when it's going through that process. What you're experiencing at times is your Apple TV is trying to communicate with your recording device, and if the Wi-Fi is weak between both devices, that's where you get the lag, right? It comes with its pros and cons with that. I think it's something that we can also mention to our development team to see if that can be improved somehow. But my experience with wired is it doesn't happen the way it happens with wireless. But we can definitely take it back to the development team and see if that can be improved or what we can do to show the latest video at all times. It just takes a while for some of these to load at times.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding that?
DJ, how often are you using scan pics like
Uh,
Julian is?
Honestly,
Do we got like a post it? That
so
little
the
ass thing. What I'm gonna do with that? I gotta write a
so
list.
give me a sec. Let me mute and then unmute. Hold up. Okay, so the question was how often do I use Scampix for sharing? I use Scampix when I know that I don't have a reliable Wi-Fi connection. Um, I typically use a Verizon hotspot. Um, I just recently upgraded to Starlink for like areas where I'm doing outside of events, kind of in rural areas. So I focus on that. But if I know I'm in the boondocks and I don't have a clear sight of the sky for Starlink to work, then I use ScanPix. It just avoids a lot of headaches. So for people that don't know what ScanPix is, what that term is, ScanPix is it's a travel router. And what that travel router what it does is it creates a local network between your devices, and it gives you two QR codes, one for your guests to scan into and be able to connect to that local network. And the second QR code will give you the actual video on demand. So you don't need any data, you don't need anything, no Wi-Fi. It's a guarantee that your product is going to get delivered. Um, but also, I mean, a lot of people have questions regarding how to set that up. For it's a little tricky at the beginning just to get it set up one time. If you get it set up one time, you don't really have to worry about it setting it up in the future. As long as your Wi-Fi name and password remains the same, I think people should explore Scampix because it's basically sharing without the use of the internet, and you'll guarantee delivery every time. It works really great, and it's an option. The other option you guys will have for sharing would be AirDrop. But if your people are using Androids, that's when it can create some issues. Any questions regarding the branding section again of the TV side? Is there anything I missed, Julian, for the branding section for TV? I think it was pretty straightforward, but I might have
No,
missed something. You
you
know,
covered everything, it's good. Maybe what you can show is the part where okay, no, you already show the ads. So you can run ads in the slideshow.
oh,
So that's
you
perfect.
can. So under ads, if you guys choose to go through ads, it's very similar. It'll give you the slideshow time. And if you just keep it on slideshow and you just want straight slideshow, the difference is that you can use some advertisements. So you can upload videos that are, if I was doing a wedding and I was using the advertisement part, I'm not going to blast my logo like everywhere for advertisement. But what I would do is maybe collect a few pictures of the bride and groom, maybe pre-engagement pictures. And during the ad part, you'll see the videos of the actual 360, but during the transition, it can play, the advertisement would play their pre-engagement pictures, right? And it'll be kind of in theme, it'll flow really nice, and you can use it for anything. But if you do want to brand your 360 and you're doing a different type of event, maybe a school fundraiser or something, then yes, blast your logo in the
Whoa, whoa,
advertisement
whoa, whoa,
pieces,
whoa.
and you can go from there. Any questions on the advertisement part? Did that make sense? All right. I'm guessing it did make sense for people that use it under slideshow mode. For people that use it under both, it just gives you a variety of options. The same principles apply if you're using a photo booth, right? If you're using a regular photo booth and you're just trying to do a slideshow. So in some situations, sometimes I get a big space in my photo booth section, right? And as an add-on, I will add a jumbo slideshow and I'll connect it to a projector and either project it to a projector screen, or sometimes these spaces that we have are just blank walls that are pretty they're substantially large. So as an add-on, I will offer a slideshow of the photo booth, and I can also when the pictures are being taken, TouchPix processes the pictures, and all of a sudden they're projected onto either my projecting screen or onto a wall in jumbo size, and that to me is like it gives it a wow factor on that end. Uh, in addition to that, TouchPix has the possibility of, if you go down here, I think it's under the I don't want to get too off topic, but if you go down into I believe it's the Dropbox area. If you use Dropbox or Google Drive, both of them are able to do this. So if you are utilizing the Google Drive or Dropbox, I have it where not only do I upload the file after every session, um, it uploads the original file, meaning the file without the template. And to me, if I'm doing a photo booth, sometimes those huge original files look a lot nicer than how busy a template looks with the picture, right? So for me, when I shoot that over to a slideshow, it just creates a great image because it's high quality. You see the original file without the template, and it plays it really nice, however you want. So that can be applied if you use Google Drive or Dropbox. But now, depends on which plan you're on. Some of our higher end plans also allow you to upload the original file as well. So it's really plan dependent, but those are just ideas to be able to generate a little bit more income as upsells, right? If a lot of people do different types of events, and the way you sell a package is you're applying the booth, and then everything else extra, whether you're offering scrapbook service, whether you're offering a slideshow service, that can also be an extra fee. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? And that all still falls under the TV section of how to project either onto a TV, but now I gave you guys an idea of how to get an inexpensive projector. And because this is a master class, I want to definitely provide you the information that you need. If you do get a projector, I recommend anything above 2,800 lumens, right? And that's the brightness of the projector in low light. Anything below 2,800 lumens, it would still work. But if a room is very lit up, where there's a lot of either natural daylight or a lot of lights, you're not going to see the image too well. But anything above 2,800 lumens, I know Epson has excellent projectors above that still pop, no matter if there's light in the room. So, just look at that and look at the lumens as well, and see if you can find something that fits your needs.
That's a great idea. That's one of those ideas that sets you apart from your competition.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. It's the times that I do use it, I think I get a lot of compliments for having something so substantially large and visible for people as they engage in the photo booth. But yeah, definitely. Any other questions with the branding for TV functions? Anything else you want to learn on this side? If not, we can I can hit stop and we can provide some time in talking about other things that you may want to learn about the TouchPix application. Probably some of the new products that I announced that we're beta testing Windows, and we have the plotter picks as well. If you guys want to talk about that, we can definitely do that. But I do want to give this some attention because I feel like it does need the attention. Again, this is for the TV slideshow. The mosaic section, I think we will handle totally different. There's also a standby section. This applies more for the photo booth, um, specifically for photo booths that have a screen in the back, right? Like everybody's probably seen those nice wood booths that are they're trending right now. The wooden booths that have a screen in the front, your iPad, and then they have a vertical screen in the back. This is great for those types of booth. The standby method will allow for an animation to be playing on the back screen. That's connected via HDMI through an HDMI dongle from inside the booth to your iPad. So I think that standby animation is just something that'll play in the background in the back of the booth while people can still operate the photo booth in the front using the iPad. Does that make sense? Yeah, because a lot of people probably didn't know that standby did that, but it's a great advertising piece as well, or you could incorporate it to your theme. Any other questions? I don't have the chat pulled up, but I'm going to stop sharing for now. And if there's not, let's open it up. Oh, you're sharing some stuff, Julian.
Whose photo booth is that? Because that is
Is is Julian's.
I like that. Where did you pick that up at, Julian?
Are you on, Julian? Can you hear? So Julian had that custom made in Mexico, and yeah, that's his booth. Really nice booth.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I built it here in Mexico. So it's a double screen, and that's it. Everything is controlled by an iPad, so it's powered by TouchPix, and I'm broadcasting the same slideshow. In this case, is in the mode that DJ mentioned at the end, the
Standby mode.
standby mode. I create this video with some photos, and it's the pre-engagement photos, and the clients send it to me, and I create a video using CapCut with some transitions, and that's it. It's the way that I show it. It's playing that slideshow before the service is when we are on standby. Once the video or once the service started, I just change it to a slideshow so I can show the pictures there. So that's the way that I work with it.
Yeah, nice. It just depends on the booth that you have. You can get super creative. I mean, the app is super powerful. Allows for a lot of branding, a lot of opportunities to kind of showcase your product, right? How you work your photo booth. I think the more in line with the theme, the more in line with just how simple and elegant it may look by being on theme and being able to provide all these different slideshows or standbys. I think can give you some ideas on how to get creative with that. But definitely the app can support a lot of different things. Any questions? Anything you guys want to learn about? Let's open up the chats. I think that covered the TV portion of the branding section. But if you guys want to learn more about something else, we definitely got a little bit of time. If not, then we can call it a night. All right, everybody. If there's no more questions, thank you again. Ricky, thank you again for being part of capturing all these AI notes for us. That's been a great help for us. But we'd like to thank everybody for being part of this call. And we'll catch you next Thursday with Virtual Booth. If there's any interest in that, log in next week. We will take notes. I did see that somebody wanted to know, do a rundown with the mosaic again. And we feel like these master classes are going to be posted on our website and on YouTube for people to be able to come back to them and kind of go over them step by step. But thanks, everybody, and have a great night.
Thank you.
DJ.
Thank you.